Welcome back, Sunshine Builders. I'm Liandra, and I am the leader of the Sunshine Squad. We are a small town fundraising team for American Cancer Society Relay for Life. And we had our annual baked potato bar that raised over $1,800. That's right, $1,800. I'm so proud to be a part of that event. In this video, I am going to break down our baked potato fundraiser. Now, something like that can feel super overwhelming. And don't get me wrong, it is a ton of work, but it is so rewarding, and the potential for earning fundraising is pretty big. I'm going to talk about securing a location and advertising for the fundraiser. I'm going to share ingredients, supplies, anything that we needed to make this event happen. The cost of the baked potato bar, like trying to price it on what you think would work for your area and your event. I'm going to talk about preparing the day before the event, actually hosting the event, and all of the things that go into it the day of, and cleanup. The two key things that you need in order to do this, and this is super simple, you need to be organized and take really good notes. If you can do those two things, I guarantee you that you can have a successful baked potato bar fundraiser. When it comes to fundraising, you want to keep your expenses as low as you possibly can. So when it comes to finding a location for the baked potato bar, we used a church, and our team members go to that church, so they were willing to let us use it for free. You could also look into community houses, community buildings, rooms that you can rent out. A lot of places do have discounted rates for nonprofits, or you could ask if they'd be willing to donate it. However, even if you have to pay to use the location, maybe shop around, find what is the cheapest, but the space will work for your event. Also, one thing to note when it comes to handling and serving food, you may have to check with your local health department on what their rules and regulations are. Thankfully, the church that we used was a certified commercial kitchen, so we didn't really have to worry about too much. Also, everyone wore gloves. You should wear your hair up, and you probably should wear a visor. I mean, we want to keep everyone safe anyway, so I just recommend doing those things. Now let's jump into advertising. Word of mouth is going to be huge. Tell everyone you know. Start with your family and your friends. You can also create events on Facebook. You can create posters and get them printed and hang them up around town. And your posters don't have to be big. They can be a regular size sheet of paper. You can go to the library and print these out. Normally a library, at least in our area, I believe they charge 25 cents for one colored page, which really isn't too bad considering. We also have a local radio station, and they were willing to advertise it on the radio the week leading up to the event. We also created little quarter sheet sizes of paper that had all the information on it, the location, the date, the time, what the meal included, the cost of it. And these were super easy to hand out to everyone we knew. You can keep some in your purse, in your car, and hand them out. You could also talk to local grocery stores. Sometimes they will put their ad in the grocery bags when they're packing your groceries. You could ask them to do something similar for the baked potato bar. Now let's get into ingredients and supplies needed to put on this event. Of course, you have potatoes. We asked for a local potato farm to donate the potatoes to us, so there was no cost there. You could ask a local grocery store to donate potatoes. You could also ask for donations. Ask 5 people you know to donate 2 bags of potatoes each. There are so many ways to be creative and figure out how to get everything donated, but it does take work to reach out to all of these people and all of these businesses and make really good notes. I'm going to look at my notes here quick. So we had the potatoes donated. We also had ham, bacon, chili, sour cream, butter, shredded cheese, broccoli, nacho cheese, onions. Those were all of the toppings that we had. So with our team members, we do have a pretty good sized team. I believe about 15 people. So between all of us, we managed to each pick a few things and bring them. So they were donated and there was no cost for any of this. So for example, we had ham. We needed 6 pounds total. So I brought 2 pounds of diced ham and 2 other team members each brought 2 pounds of diced ham. So we tried to split it up like that. Another thing that we added to our baked potato bar were salads and desserts. This was a really easy way to add things on. So some of the salads that we did were macaroni salad, Italian pasta salad. We had a veggie tray, strawberry pretzel, salad, dessert, whatever you want to call it. We had a 7-layer salad, a fluff salad. We had some jello things. I don't really know what they're called. But we had all of those things to go with the baked potato. Then with the salads, we also had dessert. And again, we asked people to bake for this so that everything was donated and we didn't have any expenses. I made sugar cookies. Another teammate made sugar cookies. Another teammate made cupcakes. You know, when you have your team work together like this, it makes a fundraiser like this so much easier. And if you have a small team, that's okay. You just need to be able to ask friends and family if they can help. You know, don't make it super overwhelming. You know, don't go to your grandma and say, can you make my favorite pasta salad? Can you bake cookies? Can you donate ham? Can you donate bacon? No, don't do that. Ask for one thing so they're more likely to say yes and help. And you also don't want to overwhelm them, you know. People do like to help with these sort of things, but make sure what you're asking for is realistic and just not too much. Don't ask for too much. That's all I'm trying to say. So maybe go to your grandma who enjoys making cookies and you know she loves making cookies. Hey grandma, can you bake 2 dozen cookies for this event? And she'll probably say yes. Or go to your best friend and say, hey, we're having this baked potato bar fundraiser. Is there any chance you could donate 2 packages of bacon? Probably, right? There's ways to do this. You just have to stay organized and take notes. So that's everything we had for ingredients. Now moving on to supplies. We did use the real cups, silverware, and plates that the church already had. But of course, that means we had to have dishwashers, which we did, thankfully. Otherwise, you would need to buy all of those things. We also were able to use water and lemonade from the church and their coffee makers. And the things that we did have to buy were napkins, gloves, olive oil, and like green scratchers to clean the potatoes. So we actually had a team member that was willing to donate all of those things. Again, if you're a small team, you could ask for those donations. You could go to a business and say, hey, we're hosting this baked potato bar. Is there any possibility you would be willing to donate paper plates for us? It's not a huge ask, right? And every little bit helps. I know this probably sounds really overwhelming, but just take a step back, create a list, and think about how you could possibly get all of these things donated. When you break it up like this, I promise you it will be much easier and way less overwhelming. Even if you only have 5 team members, do each of you know 3 people that could donate something? 3 times 5 is 15 items. See where we're going with this? We had our fundraiser on a Sunday from 11 to 1. It was only 2 hours long, and I really recommend that time frame. If people are going to come, they will come during the window that you serve. On Saturday or the day before the event, you want to try to prep as many things as possible. We had everything we could ready to go. All of the food was there. All of the decorations were done. Anything that we could put in serving bowls, we did ahead of time and wrapped them in plastic wrap and put them in the church's fridge. We also cleaned all of the potatoes on Saturday to save us time. That way we didn't have to get up and get started as early on Sunday morning. Now on Sunday, we got there around 8:45 and we had to bake all of the potatoes. We put the potatoes in crock pots. We had one big roaster up where we were serving, and we had another roaster in the back, and when we got low in front, we'd have someone run new potatoes out front. Then, of course, we had all of the crock pots lined up with melted butter, the nacho cheese, the chili, the diced ham, and the diced bacon. And then we had a bowl with shredded cheese and sour cream. So all of that was in line first. And then after that, we had the Italian pasta salad, the macaroni salad, all of the salads. And then we did put the desserts on little paper plates. So all of that was in a line, and we did serve everything. So if you do have a small team, you will also need to ask for volunteers that can help the day of. We also had volunteers. Well, we didn't really have volunteers. I have 3 sons, and I made all of them come and help. I want to make sure that they get involved with these kinds of things because I think it's important for them to learn. So all 3 of my boys, they are 5, 8, and 13. They bussed tables and got drinks for people. Even my 5-year-old, and everybody loved it. I'm so proud of them. They did so well. But don't think that because someone's so young they can't help, because they love helping. If you have nieces, nephews, grandkids, you can see if they want to help. You could also ask schools, some organizations, clubs, I think even seniors might need community service hours. That's a great way to get volunteers there. We even took notes on who was doing what. So we had 3 dishwashers. For broccoli, we needed someone to come in early and steam the broccoli. We needed someone to come in to do the potatoes, to stab and oil the potatoes and cook them. We needed someone to, to warm up the chili and get that ready. So we had all of our team members there by at least 10 o'clock. So we all pitched in. We all helped make this event successful. And then when you are making your notes for the day of on who is serving, I really recommend thinking of all of those things. So I was down for serving the potatoes. So I would put them on a plate. I would cut them in half and try to, get it ready so you can put all the toppings on. Then the next person did butter and chili. The person after that did the bacon and the ham. So we had a server for all of these things. And then we had a few people in the kitchen. We had 3 dishwashers. We had 1 serving drinks. And we had 1 that could run things when we ran out. So when my potatoes got low, we had someone specifically to run new food to us when we were getting low to refill things. And then of course we had my 3 boys that were bussing tables and taking the drinks from the person pouring them in cups to the tables for people. And then of course we had someone taking money at the front. There are lots of moving parts, but just break it down into smaller steps and stay organized. And don't forget, I have the list in the description to help you get started. Now, when it comes to pricing your baked potato bar, we decided to go with donation, whatever you can donate. And for us, this worked really, really well. We had one person donate $150 and we had two other people donate $100, which is just wild to me. You know, had we set a price on it, like $15 per plate, they maybe wouldn't have donated that much. So for us in our area, I think the cost being donation worked really well for us. But if you're in a different area and you just don't think that would go well, maybe you don't want to risk it because it is a lot of work to put something like this on, then by all means price it. When you price it, you have to think about how much your expenses were. Was there a cost for the room that you're using? Was there a cost for any of the supplies, or were you able to get them donated? You know, if you spent $100 on the room, but you were able to get everything else donated, you know you need to make at least $100 just to break even. Make sure you're thinking of that when you price things out. Another thing that I want to bring up is we made sure that in multiple spots throughout our baked potato fundraiser, we had signs for Relay for Life and American Cancer Society. You want to make sure people know what they're supporting. I think that goes a long way. So the person right in front that was taking the money, we had our Relay for Life of Carroll County sign behind them. And we had another blanket that was made out of t-shirts hanging up. So kind of like this behind me, you could see it right there as soon as you walked in. You knew exactly what this fundraiser was for and where the money was going, which is very important. A few things that you might not think of would be to-go containers. You know, if someone doesn't finish their meal, or maybe someone couldn't come out that day, but they want to buy a meal for someone. We had, I believe, 15 carryouts. So just think of that. That's 15 people that couldn't make it, but they wanted to donate anyway to take a meal to someone. So carryouts is a really good idea. If you don't want to buy those containers, you could go to a local restaurant and say, hey, we're having this baked potato bar fundraiser. We were wondering if you could donate any to-go containers. Most places will. I don't think that's a huge ask, so you can get those donated. Another thing you might want to think about is if you do have leftovers, what are you going to do with them? We donated some of the leftovers to our sheriff's department, and they posted on Facebook, which is good. You know, that gets our name out there more, you know. We also saved like our sour cream containers. Someone brought in Cool Whip containers. That way we could kind of divide up the leftovers so they don't go to waste. Another thing to have is liners for your crock pots. That will save you a world of cleanup, and it makes it so much easier. When your event is over, don't forget to send out thank you letters to anyone that donated in any way. If your event was a success, which I hope it will be, and you want to do it year after year after year, don't forget your thank you letters. Because if you take the time to do that, the business or person or whoever will be even more likely to donate again. So if your local restaurant donated to-go containers, if your local grocery store donated baked potatoes, make sure you send them a thank you. If you have any questions about anything, please drop them in the comments and I will be sure to reply to every single comment. Don't be overwhelmed by a fundraiser like this. You can do it. Stay organized, make a list, check my description to see the list that I already made for you. You can do this. Take notes. I will be making more videos like this, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell button so you don't miss any of my videos. I'm Liandra, team captain of the Sunshine Squad for Relay for Life of Carroll County. And around here, we like to say, when you can't find the sunshine, be the sunshine. Officially, welcome to the Sunshine Builders community. Let's do this together.